Hi guys, this is a follow-up on my Fuji X-H2. I've had it for 5 months now, been taking a lot of pictures with it, and I'll tell you some of the things I like and don't like and some of the problems I've had with it. Prior to the Fuji, I had an Olympus camera, and I missed some of the things on the Olympus. Smaller and cheaper lenses would be the obvious one, but what I really enjoyed on the Olympus system was the way they did pixel shift mode for high resolution pictures. On the newer Olympuses, they would even do it handheld. Unfortunately, with the Fuji, it does an interesting pixel shift mode. It takes 20 shots and returns a 160 megapixel photo when you're done, but it doesn't do it in the camera. You have to copy all 20 of those files to your computer and run a program called the Pixel Shift Combiner, which sometimes fails. So you really don't know whether your multi-shot pixel shift mode works or not until, maybe hours later. Whereas on the Olympus, it always shot them right, and you could combine them and do that in the camera. You didn't have to do it outside of the camera. Things I love about the Fuji X-H2 is the viewfinder. It's a 5.6 million dot electronic viewfinder. It's one of the highest ones in the industry. In fact, I don't know of any that are better. It's just wonderful to use. It has a 40 megapixel camera, and with built-in digital zoom, if you just click one button, you can zoom in up to 2 times and basically take nice 20 megapixel pictures. So I have an 18 to 135 lens on it. So the 135 becomes roughly a 200 millimeter lens when you consider its APS-C format. And then when you do the digital zoom to 2x, basically I have a 400 millimeter lens, which takes very good pictures, zoomed all the way out to 135 2x, and I've had really good luck with that. One of the features that I really like is you have a choice of JPEG or HEIF format output files, in addition, of course, to RAW. I shoot a lot of RAW, but 99% of the time you only need the output as a JPEG, but HEIF files are half the size, roughly, and they actually have 10-bit instead of 8-bit color, so it's a better file. Unfortunately, Adobe, in their wisdom, still don't support it correctly. Oh, they'll read it in, but they won't write it out, which is not incredibly useful at all. The other thing I really like about the Fuji is the 7 custom settings on the mode dial. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, they could have 10 custom settings. I don't need the A, S, or P settings, and I don't need the filter setting. I'm perfectly happy with just manual and video and 10 custom settings. The custom settings are easy to set up and easy to use, but you have to memorize all C1 through C7 custom settings, and there's no easy way on the Fuji to figure out what they were. You can name them, but you have to go through the menu system to find the names again. So for that, I solved that problem by printing a little label that I put on the back of the camera. I just upgraded my firmware just the other day, so perhaps some of the problems I had went away, but I don't have any confidence that they would, because I did look at the description of Fuji's latest firmware, and it doesn't describe some of the problems that I've had in the past. The first problem I encountered was corrupted video files. If I took a video file that was over 15 minutes long, it would hack it off, it would keep recording, and the file length would be longer, but starting at 15 minutes in, it would either be an all black screen from then on, or it would be the last frame that was created while I was doing the video, and it would just go on and on and on with the last frame for as long as I recorded it. I tried various video settings. I tried recording to the SD card instead of the CF Express card. Eventually, I solved the problem by doing a reset of the movie menu. That worked fine for a while, and then a few weeks later it happened again, and again I had to reset the movie menu to get it to work again. The other day I was taking a long series of pictures with the intervalometer timer in the dark with using a flash, and I was just sitting there playing a game on my phone when all of a sudden, about 15 minutes into the photo shoot, the camera started buzzing real loud. The sound like if you had your cell phone in vibrate mode and you had it on a table where it was louder. It was really scary. For a second I thought, what the heck is that? I turned off the camera, turned it on again, and it stopped. I have no explanation for what caused that, but I Googled it, and if you Google Fuji vibrations, you'll find several people have experienced similar things on various Fuji cameras over time. Many times other members seem to think it's the lens focusing, but this is way louder than a lens focusing. The next problem I had was I was taking pictures of the stars at night, and I noticed that my long exposure noise reduction wasn't happening. The setting was right, but it just didn't do it. The other thing that happened was as I was changing shutter speeds, suddenly the indicator on my viewfinder for the shutter speed was saying 50.0, and if I turned the dial to raise or lower the shutter speeds, it wouldn't go below 50.0, but it would count 50.1, 50.2, 50.3. I cranked and cranked. I was up in the 60s or 70s, 70.1, 70.2. I finally cranked it back down to 50.0. Didn't seem to change the shutter speed at all. It was just stuck in this weird mode. At this point, the camera was really unusable because manual mode was stuck at 50.0, so I did a reset of the still picture setting for the camera, and that fixed the long exposure noise reduction not happening, and it fixed the shutter that was stuck with these funny numbers from 50 to who knows how far. At this point you're probably thinking this is all negative, but in fact it's a wonderful camera, and I just hope Fuji has some firmware updates that fix the minor problems so I don't have to keep resetting it, although in truth I've only had to reset it 3 times so far. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.